Larry Summers is an economist, one of the top economists on earth, like one of the most famous, successful economists who has had a lot of influence on Democratic policy and presidential administrations. Hugely influential. He was really against a lot of the good shit that Biden was doing, the antitrust stuff and whatever. Really, really fucking horrible guy. And a late in life friend of Epstein. So anyway, he messages, I'm trying to figure out why American elite think if you murder your baby by beating and abandonment, it must be irrelevant to your admission to Harvard. But hit on a few women 10 years ago and you can't work at a network or think tank? Do not repeat this insight. I love it. Do not repeat this insight. Number one, that he calls it an insight. Number two, that it's in all caps. You know, whatever. those long ass posts where they're like, please make sure you copy and paste and post this in your status to make this is the only way. It's like, that didn't work. Like when the fucking conservatives found this thing, they were like, we gotta fucking post. Oh, wait. Guys, he put it in the email. Do not repeat this insight. Yeah, he's got us. All right. By the law of obeying Larry Summers, we gotta say no. We gotta keep this one in-house. Hey, it's the Goblin Queen. All right, gang. So this is a quote from Virginia's book about her being lent out to people, as she puts it, but like trafficked, sexually trafficked. The second person I was lent out to was a psychology professor whose research Epstein was helping to fund. That's Stephen Kosslyn, we now know. This time I flew commercial to St. Thomas, then was ferried by boat to Epstein's Island, where the professor met me. Blah, 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 blah. From his nervous accent, it seemed he wasn't used to being with women. The psychologist was only the first of many academics from prestigious universities who I was forced to service sexually. I didn't know it then, but Epstein had spent years campaigning to keep company with the world's biggest thinkers and best-selling scientific authors. Epstein convinced himself that he, a college dropout, was on the same level as degree-holding innovators and theoreticians, and because he funded many of their research projects and flew them around on his jets, he was largely welcomed into their fold. Then Epstein offered some of them a bonus, sex with one of us girls. In the coming months, I would be told to service many men, whom I'd later learn were illustrious in their fields. On any given night, Epstein would tell me to wait in the massage room until one of the strangers entered, clearly expecting sex. Scientists weren't the only people Epstein used his vast resources to win access to, which is how I came to be trafficked to a multitude of powerful men. Among them were a gubernatorial candidate who was soon to win an election in the Western state and a former U.S. senator. Since Epstein usually neglected to introduce me to these men by name, or introduce them at all, I would only later learn who some of them were when I studied photographs of Epstein's associates and recognized the faces of those I was forced to have sex with. Now, this sort of goes on, along with my theory that like a lot of Epstein was hooking up a lot of these guys who had trouble meeting women. This is a couple of guys who are emailing him. So here's one guy, Jonathan Farkas, and this is his wife. Now, I forget what her name is. Anyway, whatever. Jonathan Farkas and his tall wife at, looks like the New York Philharmonic. Nothing wrong with being tall at all, by the way. But here's him messaging Epstein. I'm seeing, redacted name, a little bit. I don't think it'll turn into romance. I'm a bit too old and not tall enough, but she seems intelligent and kind. Summers got an appointment from Trump. Oh, yeah, it's Summers is her name. I forget her first name, Summers. Summers got an appointment from Trump because she's on the White House Fellowship Commission. It came through Woody and Suzanne Johnson because she bundled. Best, Jonathan. And then Epstein writes back, careful, she is not trustworthy at all. And then Farkas writes back, a two-timer? I don't know what he means by that. Like a two-timer, like a liar or something? Or does it mean she did something 2 times? I don't know. A two-timer? Epstein says, worse. And this guy goes, Jeffrey, please help me here. Is she a hooker? Awesome. Anyways, yeah, I hope that they're very happy together. But then we got Larry Summers. Here's Larry Summers. Epstein writes to Larry Summers. By the way, Larry Summers is an economist, one of the top economists on earth, like one of the most famous, successful economists who has had a lot of influence on Democratic policy and presidential administrations. Hugely influential. Hugely influential. He was really against a lot of the good shit that Biden was doing, like the antitrust stuff and whatever. Really, really fucking horrible guy. And a late in life friend of Epstein. Like, it's one thing to be a friend of Epstein, you know, in the 90s, in the 2000s, right? Like Trump was. Trump stopped being friends with him after they had the fucking real estate deal fallout or whatever, Virginia Roberts fallout. Although I don't think that's really the case. But I'm guessing more the real estate deal. This guy was friends with him, this was in what, 2018? And this guy was messaging him all the way into 2019 until he got arrested. This is a late in life friend. So this is worse than Trump. Epstein writes to Larry Summers, I'm a pretty good wingman, no? Anymore, how great Larry is comments, and I would have had to barf. Great fun. So he was out with him and being like, oh, Larry's so great. Yeah, Larry's amazing. Oh, he's so cool and like pretty like sexy, actually. I like that he's like old and like ugly. I think that's cool. You know, he's like trying to hype him up. And then Larry says, you were good. Thought if you didn't know that we had been a couple, she gave it away with familiarity and barbed comments. Think for now I'm going nowhere with her except economics mentor. Oh, God. It's probably like a student of his at Harvard. He's a Harvard professor as well. Think I'm right now in the scene very warmly in the rearview mirror category. He's just like so down on himself. You got friends like this? You got friends like this who talk to you about their girl troubles like that? No. I think right now I'm in the scene very warmly in the rearview mirror category. She did not want to have a drink because she was tired. Oh, nothing ever goes my way. Jeffrey Epstein, my best friend. I left the hotel lobby somewhat abruptly. When I'm reflective, I think I'm dodging a bullet with her. Yeah, I'm too good for her. There are huge ups with her, but very self-involved, and to get her to be good probably requires more firmness than I enjoy. I think the right thing is to cut off contact. Suspect she'll miss it. Problem is, I will too. Oh, man. Anyway, fucking loser. Whatever. It's fine. It's okay to have problems with dating, but it's not okay to be Jeffrey Epstein's friend. You know? I always try to watch like how I make fun of these guys because like I have my instincts to like bully them, but also hey we've all been there. We've all had it. We've all had issues dating. Dating is hard. But no, this guy sucks though. Larry Summers is a loser. Here's a fucking crazy one from Larry Summers. This guy, so respected by Democrats, like massively fucking famous. I was talking to my friend, Presidential Penis, the other day, and he was sort of like, oh no, this guy is like one of the big economists. Huge deal. So anyway, he messages Epstein, SoftBank deputy guy I like can seem to wear an honest son. Okay, lots of slathering to Saudis. I yipped about inclusion. Okay, I observed that half the IQ in the world was possessed by women, without mentioning they are more than 51% of the population. I burned up. Mnuchin plumbs new depths. War seems more likely. He's just giving him like a fucking like, I don't know, what does this feel like this feels like a fucking Q drop or something. It's just like unrelated sentences separated by an indentation. DJT is the world's luckiest guy in terms of opposition, economy, etc. Still think his world will collapse. This is in what, 2017? He's talking about Hillary Clinton. Was Larry Summers not involved with Hillary Clinton's campaign? Hillary Clinton. Sorry, I just want to find this out for my own edification. I bet he was. Larry Summers begged Hillary to stop pretending that she what did he say? She hates Wall Street. Oh, that was his advice? Fucking idiot. That's one of the fucking biggest reasons why Trump won. Moron. Fucking moron. Hillary should have pretended she hated Wall Street more. Because remember when Trump went out on the debate stage and was like, yo, fucking, that's not Trump's voice at all. All of you receive payments from wealthy donors, and I know because I donated to you. I've donated to you. Like, to me, like, that was like an early moment in Trump's campaign, and I remember being like, oh, shit. That's a good line. I got to give it to him for that one. That is a good fucking line because there is a problem with money in politics. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes how close fucking, like, the Clintons are to Wall Street or, like, every politician is to Wall Street. No one likes that. When Trump called that out, it made him look very good. And Larry Summers was like, Hillary, don't be mean to Wall Street, okay? Okay, I talked to Epstein about it and he said it was bad and he knows a lot. Okay, you need to go more pro-Wall Street and more abolishing the age of consent, okay? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. No idea how his voice actually sounds, but I just more know like of him. But yeah, fucking legendarily stupid advice. Fucking moron. I'm glad that his career's over because God, the Democrat Party deserves better advice than that shit. Anyway, not even the craziest part of this email. Next, I'm trying to figure out why American elite think if you murder your baby by beating and abandoning it, or abandonment, it must be irrelevant to your admission to Harvard. But hit on a few women 10 years ago and you can't work at a network or think tank? Do not repeat this insight. I love it. Do not repeat this insight. Number one, that he calls it an insight. Number two, that it's in all caps. Like, it reminds me of, those like Facebook grandmas that would be like, I hereby do not give consent, authorization, or an endorsement to Facebook using my data, images, messages, ideas, or thoughts without consent. I hereby denounce the attempts by Facebook to reach into my brain through microchip tentacular devices and steal my ideas for inventions. By typing this as a Facebook status on my wall of my own, I hereby forbid the use of any information thereof by Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, and other entities within pro quid quo annum. Whatever. those long ass posts where they're like, please make sure you copy and paste and post this in your status to make this is the only way. It's like, that didn't work. I'm sorry, that didn't work. Like, when the fucking conservatives found this thing, they were like, we gotta fucking post. Oh, wait. Guys, he put it in the email. Do not repeat this insight. Yeah, he's got us. All right. By the law of obeying Larry Summers, we gotta say no. We gotta keep this one in-house. Anyway, so what's Larry Summers been up to lately? Well, he's been having a bad time lately. This is from about a week ago. When is this from? Oh shoot, I didn't get the day. But here's him tweeting about the Harvard Crimson. He's a very prestigious Harvard professor. I think he's like the head of the economics department. And he's pissed that the Harvard Crimson has been posting some pro-Palestine shit. He says, I found this article by former Harvard Crimson president very disturbing. The moral bankruptcy that led the Crimson to endorse BDS sometime. Fucking the way people talk about BDS, like because people have been talking about BDS as though it's like, if you support BDS, which is a non-violent, like, boycotting movement, boycott, divestment, and sanctions, like being like, no, I'm not going to buy fucking Puma clothes or a Soda Stream or a fucking, what else is on the BDS list? Like, there's like a list of like 6 things that people are not buying because they are manufactured in Israel on like occupied territory. What is wrong with it? That's fucking, you're allowed to boycott shit. The fuck? And yet people have been talking about that for years as though it is decades, as though it is a fucking like hate crime against Jews, as though it's like burning down a synagogue or whatever, spray painting swastikas everywhere. It's not. It's a totally legitimate, peaceful protest thing. And yet in a lot of states, it's illegal. Sabra's one. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't get into that. Who's you referring to that killed a baby? There was a woman who was accepted to Harvard, and she had a history like where I forget the exact details of it, but there was some incident where there was a woman's baby had died due to neglect or something like that, and it was when she was very young. Obviously, these guys don't care if you're young or whatever, old enough to be Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, old enough to go to prison for murder. But I can't remember exactly the details, but he was referring to that and comparing it to, meanwhile, what did you do? All you did was hit on a few women 10 years ago. It's like, bro, it's fucking 2017, Larry. You should know better. You'd know better at this point. Oh, yeah, BDS means boycott, divest, sanction. I thought it was a K-pop group. I thought it was a K-pop group this whole time. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's BTS. But yeah, people were acting like it was like before October 7th, right? Different world back then. People kind of let the Zionists get away with crazy bullshit like that a lot more. Post October 7th, like this is from like last week, to be like the moral bankruptcy that led the Crimson to endorse BDS. It's like, no, dude, that's fine. That's like a fucking bare minimum, dude. Like you can't be talking like this. This guy's so fucking clueless. He's always been clueless. He's clueless about the economy. He's clueless about fucking Wall Street. Corruption. He's an idiot, gives the worst advice to Democrats, and he's still talking like it's fucking 2018 about Israel. The moral bankruptcy that led the Crimson to endorse BDS some time ago without subsequent withdrawal appears to have spread to the news pages. I have shared Stoll's article to several at the Crimson without substantive response, and this tracks with the things I have observed. Many of the students I have engaged with at the Crimson have high integrity and smarts, but I do hope alumni trustees will investigate and take any necessary steps lest a problematic situation deteriorate further. So this is a week ago. This guy's fucking reaching out to fucking emailing, harassing the people who work at Harvard Crimson, which I guess is not a fucking... I thought Harvard Crimson was just a newspaper, but I guess it's like an organization that has a newspaper. I don't really know. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? But he's harassing them, and he's like getting his fucking rich alumni friends to also make a stink about it. Harvard Crimson is fucking pissed at this guy, right? This guy's annoying. This guy's evil, genocide apologist, annoying guy, right? Then, a fucking week later, this shit comes out, and what does the Crimson do? They wrote a amazing article about Larry Summers and Epstein. Email cache reveals how former Harvard president Larry Summers stayed in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit. A new cache of emails released by a House committee paints a vivid portrait of the relationship between Harvard president Lawrence H. Summers and convicted sex offender Jeffrey E. Epstein. The hundreds of emails spanning from 2013 to 2019 reveal how Summers sought out Epstein's thoughts on Harvard projects, politics, and his personal life. Yeah. They go back and forth quite a bit. I barely scratched the surface with my study of it here. But goes into him like denying his closeness to Epstein for a while. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I thought that the way that they ended it was quite good. This is how they ended it, which I feel like is like some good shade. In late 2016, Epstein introduced Summers to Kareem Wade, a former Senegalese minister then living in exile in Qatar. Summers appeared confused about whom he was meeting, writing to Epstein, "Who's the guy you've set me up with?" In the same email, Summers warned Epstein that he was not interested in projects involving the Trump administration. "Spend zero effort on anything about me with Trump," he wrote. "Seeing his approach to conflict of interest, his Putin proximity, and his mindless response on Castro death, I'm best off 1,000,000 miles away." He thought he was too close to Castro. I forget how he responded to the fucking thing. Epstein replied that Wade was the son of the president of Senegal and one of the most important figures in West Africa. In response, Summers wrote that it was important to keep certain relationships at a distance, at least in public. "Always quiet advice to anyone who can use it," he wrote. Wait, what the fuck? How are you supposed to read that? "Always quiet advice to anybody who can use it." Always quiet advice to anybody who can use it. "Try always discreet. If you become associated publicly with something, the reputations converge." And I just thought that was such a great way for them to end this article. These guys that have been fucking like harassed and like attacked by this dude repeatedly for the last like whatever years, and last week this guy's been fucking sending his goons after them and emailing them all personally and getting the alumni involved. It's so subtle, but it hits so hard, right? If you become associated publicly with something, the reputations converge. End of article. Like, they don't even really spell it out, but they're like, "Yeah, buddy, it looks like your discreetness didn't really last." We got you. We got you, buddy. We got you on this one, buddy. Anyway, fuck this guy. Yeah, fuck him. Oh, but it's not just Larry Summers. I also have an email here from Larry Summers' wife, Elisa New, who Elisa New is also a Harvard professor of literature, and she hosts a fucking show or some shit. What does she do? American academic and author who hosts the PBS series Poetry in America. All right, she's a real literary person. I mean, she's a professor of literature. Like, she actually is. I'm not. I guess it sounded like I was being sarcastic. No, she is that. She's married to Larry Summers. Oh, she married him in 2005. And he was asking Epstein for like all this dating advice like through the 20-teens. That's crazy. Her show was canceled because it was found out that, they've already put in the shit here about the Epstein emails. But yeah, Epstein plans to donate $500,000 to her PBS series. I don't even want to talk about that shit. I want to talk about this shit. She sends Jeffrey Epstein this message. Get this shit, guys. "Here's an invitation you can forward. Fingers crossed. By the way, already better spelling, punctuation, and grammar than literally anyone else in Jeffrey Epstein's fucking inbox, or especially outbox." But let's keep going. I'm going upstairs to hunt for my copy of Lolita, or we'll get on my Kindle and reread on our way to Australia. I may have lent it out to one of my kids. Okay, weird. I would recommend reading, I guess that's fine. That's a famous book. But anyway, email to Jeffrey Epstein. Everything comes across as weird. I would recommend reading My Antonia by Cather next time you're on a long plane trip. The prose is gorgeous, and the book has, come to think of it, similar themes to Lolita, in that it's about a man whose whole life is stamped forever by his impression of a young girl. What the fuck? She's writing this shit to Epstein. Like, I'm not going to say you shouldn't read Lolita. I mean, I understand it's a very amazing book. It's actually very, like, anti-pedophilia, you know, like I haven't read it myself, but I mean, I would read it. I got nothing against reading it, but she's recommending Lolita and another fucking book, My Antonia, about a man raping a young girl. Like, that's fucking weird. You know? That's weird. Anyway, she's getting lots of other fucking shit from him. Money. He's giving her fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars to run her vanity project PBS book show. What the fuck is this shit? Oh, what the fuck is this? Wait, okay, Finland, you gotta tell me more about this. You can connect Epstein to the rapper Nas with just one step, and it's Elisa New? What? Seriously? Epstein actually killed himself after reading Lolita and realized what he did was wrong? He's the one guy who interpreted Lolita correctly? Yeah, in Virginia's book, she says that he gave her Lolita to read. That would have been like 2000s. But yeah, absolutely wild. Also hilarious that she assumes Epstein hasn't read Lolita. Like, I'm sure that's like one of the only books that Epstein read. What's this? Oh, this is Elisa New here, interviewing Nas? Dang. What did she ask Nas?
Always needs to be reread. You don't have to get it the first time around. And the way you rap, you know, one could never take it all in.
Right.
I wonder if we could look close.
I mean, fuck, I hate that I would actually be interested in watching this. Nas is like an extremely talented lyricist, poet. But okay, all right, we'll leave that be. We'll leave that be. Fuck Larry Summers. That is the end of this section.